On November 16, 1919, a 70-year-old man named Smith Osgood was walking down the Colorado Street Bridge at night, which is located in Pasadena, California. And as he was walking down this pathway that was lit up by these beautiful street lamps that went along both sides of this bridge, he saw a person passing by, and when Smith stopped this person, he asked him if he could deliver this note for him. He offered to pay this person to deliver this note, and the person seemed kind of standoffish at first, thinking it was kind of strange how Smith approached him, but in the end, this complete stranger agreed to help him. Smith instructed the person to take the note to the police station immediately with strict instructions to not read the letter. Again, this complete stranger agreed and went straight to the police station and handed them the unopened note. Police were shocked when they were given a note by a random person who walked into their police station. When the police read this letter, they found out that this was not just any type of note, but in fact a real suicide note. The note read, "Please telephone at once G.G. Wheat, Undertaker, Huntington Park, to send for my body and prepare for its cremation. I am about to make the leap from your beautiful Colorado Street Bridge. Farewell, beautiful Pasadena. I loved you so well." Now, let's just back up a little bit. After Smith handed this note to this stranger that was passing by, he continued to walk till he was pretty much to the center of this bridge. He climbed over the railing, stood on the ledge, and I'm guessing admiring the view and reflecting back on his life before plunging 150 feet down to the bottom. By the time the police read this letter, it was just too late. They arrived to a deceased 70-year-old man. This was the first, but not the last suicide attempt on this bridge. Many more would sadly follow. There was just not really any proof to why Smith took his life. This is just one of 3 bizarre suicide cases that this bridge holds that we will cover in today's video. Hi, I'm Zach and welcome to Rooted Expeditions. Today we will be diving into the history of what has become famously known as the Suicide Bridge. Hit that thumbs up and let's dive right into today's location. Located in Pasadena, California sits this 1,467 foot long concrete bridge. Construction began in July 1912 and lasted about 18 months. This bridge took about $235,000 to build, which is equivalent to $7 million in today's dollars. This bridge was built by a company from Missouri. The bridge closed for 4 years in 1989 when it was thought to be an earthquake hazard, but after $27 million in renovations, it opened again in 1993 and has been open to the public ever since. Now, there's many sad stories that this bridge holds, just as we saw in the beginning. During 1929 and 1933, the bridge was used by over 50 men and women to commit suicide during the Great Depression. There hasn't been any really hard evidence to why this bridge became such a hot spot for suicides. But by 1933, the bridge became famously known as, you guessed it, the Suicide Bridge. One of the most notorious suicides would probably be that of Myrtle Ward. Story goes that on May 1st, 1937, a woman named Myrtle was married to a man named Clarence, who was a musician. While trying to further his career in his music, Clarence found a new job through this work program, and that caused him to be away from home, and that led Myrtle to quitting her job so that they could stay home with their 3-year-old daughter. With all these new changes in Myrtle's life, it became just too much to handle. So one day, while Clarence was away working, her and her 3-year-old daughter both got dressed and drove out to the Colorado Street Bridge. When she got there, she pulled over, got out of her car, got her 3-year-old daughter, and they both held hands as they walked to the edge of the bridge. As they did this, a few pedestrians watched Myrtle and this 3-year-old daughter walk up to the edge. They would witness in horror as they watched Myrtle pick up her 3-year-old daughter and threw her over the edge of the bridge. As soon as she did that, she stepped up on the ledge and climbed over, made eye contact with a few of the pedestrians that were in shock to what they just witnessed, and immediately she jumped over to her death, hitting the rocky creek bed below. To everybody's shock, Myrtle's daughter survived. When her mom threw her over the edge, the pepper trees down below broke the baby's fall. She was injured but was able to heal and make a full recovery. Several years later, that girl would claim that God intervened in her life and saved her. When investigators got down below to retrieve the body, they found a note tied to her dress. The note read, "I am Myrtle Ward of 4329 Myrtle Avenue, Los Angeles." She had a street named after her. That's interesting. All right, moving on. The third and last sad tragedy that we will talk about is on August 25th, 1934, when Charles Winkleman drove his recently divorced wife Ella to the bridge. He made a ride onto Colorado Street Bridge while driving and stopped about halfway on the bridge. He then got out of his car, went around to the passenger side of the car, and tried yanking his wife out of that vehicle. At this point, it was pretty obvious that his intent was to jump off the bridge. Ella fought for her life as Charles yelled at her and said, "You're coming with me." As they were fighting on the bridge, Ella was able to fight off Charles and managed to escape the death grip that he had on her, and she immediately ran away as far as she could from Charles. Charles, watching Ella run away, didn't even chase her. He immediately went straight to the edge of the bridge and jumped to his death. Just as the others before, there was a note. Yes, another note. This letter was found in his pocket and it read, "Dear wife Ella, sorry I had to do this, but I couldn't stand any longer to see you go out with men and my children home alone. So you can have all the dance halls and boyfriends, as you call them, but remember, you will get yours someday. So please show a little respect, if you have any, for yourself. God bless my children and make them happy." Over the years since this bridge was built, it has claimed the lives of about 150 men and women. They ended up putting up an iron fence around the bridge, and when that failed to work, they ended up putting a 10-foot chain link fence before the railing to help keep people from jumping off to their death. If you walk the bridge today, you will see locks with no keys and are attached to this chain link fence, signifying people paying their respects for the people who tragically lost their lives here at this bridge. That does it for today's history. Hit that thumbs up. Peace, I love you, and as always, God bless.